And maybe we don't. But the piece of land that we lost, that we called our home, we want the ownership back. I don't want anybody to come to me and say, come, I'll show you Kashmir. It belonged to me. I would have shown him, being 20 years younger to me that he was at that time. I could not say anything then, and I cannot say anything now. But I own that place, and I look forward to my children having to say that my mom belonged to that place. This is what I call Matamal. I have no words to express what each one of you would be feeling here. But I don't know if saying that only Kashmiri Pandits suffered was right or not. Some suffered the loss of their homelands. Some suffered the homes that turned graveyards for them, who never left Kashmir. Who suffered more is a question that we all need to answer. Some have been waiting to go back home for 30 years, and some grew up in that hostility, in that terrorism for 30 years. Who is more suffering? Whose pain is more? These questions, it's the time that we stop and think, who is suffering more? Is it us? Is it we? Or what has changed in these 30 years? Let's take time to reflect back on those times and see what we have gathered in these 30 years. Is it hatred? Is it love? Or is it beyond that we all have to see what is happening? They're shouting, there have been months of lockdown in Kashmir. We shout, there have been 30 years of exile for us. They shout, our internets don't work. We say nobody spoke for us. They say it is human rights. We say the world remained silent. And in all between all this, what was lost was home for someone, was childhood for a lot of many people, was the roots to the next generation who never could realize and understand what Kashmir was for them. Today is the day, ladies and gentlemen, that we have come a long way since that deadly, deadly night of 19th January. I'm sure many of you sitting here would have been there when those all things happened. I have vivid memories only of that day and nothing beyond that for first 6, 7 years of my life that I spent in Kashmir. I wish I had better memories, but no, I don't. I wish I had better things to talk to my children when I talk to them about what I owned there, but I'm sorry, I don't. Today, ladies and gentlemen, let us take a moment of silence and think and introspect within ourselves of what we actually want. Is it the identity that was lost 30 years back? Or is it the fight for the home? Is it the fight for the land? Is it the fight for the culture? What is that we are trying to save, and what is that we're trying to preserve for the future generations? Do we want them to know what Kashmir was as it is today? Or do we want them to know what it was back 700 years probably when the real oppression starts? 70 years of oppression for people who are there now and 700 years for them. I don't say they are wrong, or I don't say I am wrong. I am right for what I say. They may be right for what they say. But the point is that we have to ponder, we have to reflect back and reach a point wherein we can say that that land belonged to me. And today, ladies and gentlemen, after 30 years of that exodus, half my age gone in various lands, but which I never could call my home, we're standing here today to discuss about what impact and what is the future forward. With this thought, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome each one of you, and I thank each one of you that you could make, irrespective of the weather outside, you could make it here. A huge round of applause and a big, big, big thank you for each one of you present here, ladies and gentlemen. May I request Acharya Zenji, who is present amongst us, to please say a prayer for all the people who lost their lives, who lost their homeland, who lost their motherland, who lost their culture, and who lost their roots in all these 30 years. Acharya ji.
Namaste, bhayo, beheno, my dear friends. We're here at it's a very solemn event, as you all know. I'm just going to start off with a simple prayer. One of Kashmir's greatest gifts to world civilization was an incredible, peerless scholar called Kumarajiva. And Kumarajiva's translation of the Lotus Sutra is considered to be one of the most important documents that has influenced world civilization. this particular sutra was extremely popular and revered in Nalanda, which needs no introduction. The people in Nalanda, the greatest sages in history, they all met with one of the worst holocausts in the human experience and in the human imagination. And I think by just chanting the mantra of the Lotus Sutra in Sanskrit, and I'll give you the English translation, we can somehow send great empathy, great compassion to all beings who are suffering, particularly our brothers and sisters in Kashmir. I'll just say a few words for you all. Yamevaham lokapita svayambhu chikitshaka sarvapajanna nata. The Lord Buddha says, I am the self-created one, the Heavenly Father of all beings, the Lord of all creation. Traidhatukam komam idam parigraho yeh hyatra dahayanti mamaiti putra. Which means this threefold world is my domain, and all those who are suffering are my children. These Kashmiri Hindus who are suffering are the children of the Lord Buddha. All of us are his children. We're all a family, which, as you know, they say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So therefore, in this particular context, I pray I'm just going to chant a quick prayer to bring the light of the eternal Buddha Amitabha in all 10 directions. So wherever people are lost and alone and scared and staggering in the darkness of hate, they will find the light of compassion, the light of hope, and the light of a satsang, which is what we represent here today. Namo Amitabha Buddhaya Amota Sadata Amideva Hari Om Amrita Tejavati Swaha Namo Arya Avalokiteshwara Swaha Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Munaye Swaha.
Thank you, Acharya ji. Ladies and gentlemen, may we please rise for the national anthems. Jai. None of the national anthems ever finishes without saying Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Indeed, thank you. In between, हम है ना migrant, हम क्या करेंगे, हमको दीदी ने इतना ही बता दिया है. And in between, नीचे क्या है चार आना. Somewhere in between these lines and somewhere in between the taunts of people we today call our friends, we grew up. We grew up, ladies and gentlemen, somewhere in between being called Kashmiri Lole and somewhere in between being shamed for losing our own homes and coming and being known as refugees in the own country, let alone the own state. We probably are the only species in this entire world and entire universe who get called refugees in their own land, in their own state. Nobody believes when we say, oh, I have a refugee card and I get refugee ration. I remember very, very vividly, as a very small person who came to Jammu and have never experienced heat and what it meant to be in 40 degrees and not to have a refrigerator, go door to door, literally begging for some ice so that we can have cold water. I'm sure many of you here will reckon with the same kind of memories that you will have of the early migration that happened when we became refugees in our own land. I leave you with this thought again, and may I request our president, Mr. Utpal Amma, who is the president of Kashmiri Overseas Association of Canada, to share his thoughts on this very important day in our lives. Mr. Amma.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. No words can describe the pain, the suffering, the humiliation that as a community we have underwent. Since 30 years, we were hounded up like cattle and chased out from the valley, the same place that for times immemorial has been our own place. We were chased out in the night with ladies, kids crying, but nobody taking a note of that even until now. But we see a ray of light somewhere with eminent personalities like Rajiv ji, Tahir ji here, who can at least present to the world that what we as a community has suffered. We see it as a ray of light with the change of governments in India, whereby at least Kashmiri community has been recognized as somebody who was displaced. We see a ray of light elsewhere in the world as well, that we as a Kashmiri community are being recognized that they have suffered and enough is enough. Abrogation of Article 370 was a landmark for the Kashmiri community, and believe me, we're all waiting for it to take place in real sense so that all of us, we Kashmiri community, can go back. It's 30 years now that we're still talking about going back to our own place where we grew up as kids. We roamed around, we had orchards, we had land, we had freedom that was taken away from us by the perpetrators who basically took up the guns, and a very minuscule community who was busy with their own schedules. We had nothing to do with terrorism, we had nothing to do with violence, and here we are all across the world talking to the world and telling them that enough is enough, please take note of it, and we need to go back. Thank you for being here, and please spread this all around the world. The narrative has to change now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Utpalji. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put together our hands for all our sponsors for the day. Shri Virendra Sumbli ji, Indo-Canadian Hindu Forum, Ekal Foundation, Kashmiri Overseas Association of Canada, Shri Rakesh Kaul, Crown Group of Hotels, and Shri Kuldeep Sharma ji, Shri Vinod Munshi ji, Shri Arun Taplu ji, Shri Kamal Raina ji, Shri Nasir Mehdi ji, India Sajavat and Puja Hut, TAG TV, ZTV, PTC Punjabi, Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora, Baloch Human Rights Council, Canadian Anti-Semitism Education Foundation, and Weekly Voice newspaper. Without the support from all these people and organizations, this event would not have been possible. A huge round of applause for all of them.